been fortunate enough to win the race twice, so it's been a good race to me over the years.
Hotel Grand raced away and he's got the Spring Champion Stakes safely won.
They're all trying to get off. Shortest way home's the fence.
Monaco Consul at any old price, he was about 80 to 1, but he's hit the lead.
That was the biggest outsider at that price at the top level that I've ever won. So you just got to be in it to win it, and amazing things can happen. My name is Jay Ford, and I've won the Spring Champion Stakes in 2005 on a horse called Hotel Grand, and also in 2009 on Monaco Consul. Obviously you're looking for a really good 3-year-old coming through the grades, showing good staying potential. This is probably one of the bigger, earlier 3-year-old races of the season, so fortunately I've been able to partner a few through the years. Hotel Grand. He was trained by Anthony Cummings, who I rode a lot for at the time. I didn't ride him in his first few starts, but when I did get on him, we seemed to click, and from then on I rode him in his lead-ups towards the Spring Champion Stakes. In the Spring Champion Stakes he drew wide. It can be a tricky start there, the 2000 at Randwick, but he was a front runner. The start before he was beaten in the Dulcify, he ran second, but he was exposed a long way from home, and on this day in the Spring Champion we really wanted to ride him with cover, but obviously we drew a bit awkward, so the play was to be a little bit positive, but hopefully to be able to find a little bit of cover from that wide barrier.
Bouncing around, racing, he's begun better today, Hotel Grand.
So yeah, obviously we were keen to give him a positive ride from the wide barrier. That was his style, and obviously to negate the wide barrier as best we could, and we were able to get out of the gates pretty well and slide across pretty comfortably, and then it was just all about trying to switch him off, given that he was such a strong, bold going horse. As the race sort of goes on, he gets better as we go on, still wanting to go a little bit keen and throw his head around a little bit, but the race was run only at an even tempo. As you can see, one moves around us, which then gives us cover, which we really wanted to do at some stage. We wanted to give him some cover, and he's just in a premium spot. I must say, from this point in, I was pretty confident. He's relaxed pretty well for him, and he's just in a nice stalking rhythm, ready to pounce. I was able to just blend to the outside as I pleased, nursed him into the first portion of the straight, let him go through his gears slowly. And from this point on, I really sensed that the race was ours, and he really dominated that race.
Hotel Grand is off and gone. Hotel Grand raced away and he's got the Spring Champion Stakes safely won.
At the time, I'd ridden this horse right through to the Spring Champion. I'd been teaming up with the trainer Anthony Cummings quite a lot. We'd had good success, and that was our first success at the top level together, so very satisfying victory. Moving to 2009, I rode a horse called Monaco Consul in the Spring Champion Stakes. It was a funny one, actually. In the lead up, I was riding another 3-year-old heading towards that race, and he didn't end up making it towards that race, and my manager got me on this horse from New Zealand called Monaco Consul, and I knew nothing about him, and it turned out to be a very good booking by my manager. The stable had a very high opinion of him. They said he was highly talented, but he was very raw. Even cantering to the gates, he did feel very raw, very unsure, and he was probably one of the least experienced horses in that Spring Champion Stakes of that year. It was a very heavy track that day. It was a heavy 10, if memory serves me correct. He wasn't really fancied. He didn't have strong form lines leading into the race, so it gave me the opportunity to be able to just be comfortable in what I'm doing, get him in his rhythm, ride the horse and help him along, because like I said, we were one of the outsiders of the field.
They're off in the Spring Champion Stakes, and one more, no more, threw his head right up in the air at the start.
So obviously, as my trainer Mike Moroney told me, he'd settle back. The idea was just to find the rail, help him along. He was a very inexperienced horse, and just to try and get him in a nice rhythm, get him to switch off. As you could see going down the side there, everyone was starting to come off the fence, and being on relatively outside of the field, I thought I'd chance my arm and I'd just keep riding the rail to pinch a bit of ground as we went along. Obviously just getting strung up there for a little bit, and as they kept coming off I decided to cut back to the inside. And as you can see, when I asked him, you can see the power and the way he starts to lengthen, and from this point on I had a little sneaky look across and I could see that I had the rest covered, and he just kept careering away.
Monaco Consul, the Kiwi, at any old price, he was about 80 to 1, but he's hit the lead, and in the slog to the line in the Champion Stakes, he wins it from Gathering.
That was the biggest outsider at that price at the top level that I've ever won. So very much a surprise, but very satisfying. You know, to win any Group 1 is fantastic, and when it comes as something that you look on paper and not necessarily they have the form there, but you know, you never know. You just got to be in it to win it, and amazing things can happen. I've been fortunate enough to win the race twice. Had quite a few placings to go with it, you know, so it's been a good race to me over the years. I just wish it was worth as much then as what it is now, because back then it wasn't worth the couple of million it is today. It's probably been 10 years plus since I've watched those races, so it brings back great memories. You know, it's always nice to look back on some of your achievements and some of your accomplishments, and especially, you know, to partner two good horses like they were, bring back fond memories, and something that I certainly enjoyed watching.